It was a long winter's night when the kid launched the game. The game was a noir game, so of course he had to make a bad detective noir joke. And then he did, and it was awful, and everyone died forever. Greetings and welcome everyone to Face Noir. Face Noir is this new point-and-click adventure game that recently came out and that hasn't actually been getting that much coverage, surprisingly enough. I find that a bit odd considering it's actually pretty decent. Maybe I can sort of see a few reasons as to why, but we'll get onto that later. The story is of this ex-cop who's a now detective who's gotten into trouble with the wrong side of the law. Not law, really, I suppose. Wrong side of the mob place thing. And someone's coming to get him because he done do the bads. And that's basically it. And he actually does get shot later on. Or actually, no, I suppose it's earlier on because the game starts... That's not a spoiler, by the way. The game starts off with him getting shot, and then it does like the 24 hours earlier. He got shot, but now it's okay because he's unshot because it's 24 hours ago. So, yeah, that's basically that. Now, so far what we've been doing in the game is we went to go to this detective agency place, we got a case from it, and then we did the case, and now we have some pictures, and now we have to go get the film roll, because we came to this place to get a drink, but then the lady was angry at us because we didn't pay our bar fee or something like that, and so now we have to get rid of the pictures from this and give the camera back to her because it belongs to Greta, which you can see written on the name there. This right here is actually one of the main features, but a feature of the game. You have this sort of 3D inventory, which is pretty interesting. So you can just cycle through all of this and it's all in 3D, which is very nice. So you can sort of see your objects in 3D, which is good. You can't really do that much with it. There's no rotating or anything like that. You can't like zoom in or zoom out. Like the most like it'll get is with his hand moving it up and down. So it's really more of just a cumbersome inventory sort of screen. But so thankfully they do give you an option of using a classic inventory, which should appear at the top. Did I not select? Okay, apparently I did not. Okay, confirm. There we go. Alright, now we'll have the basic 2D one up here, which everyone is accustomed to. So here's one of my minor issues of this game. We have to go find a dark area to pull out the roll of film. Right, so okay, this area right here, it's dark. I'm gonna put him in it. No, he doesn't want to go in it. Click it again. No, he doesn't want to go in it. We have to click the camera first and then go click onto it for him to actually do it. I find that really annoying because in most like point-and-click adventure games, they sort of just allow you to skip that step of logic. Like it's an unnecessary specific step that you have to take, and it just sort of infuriates the player because it's not really needed. Now this is a really minor thing, by the way, so don't think that I'm trying to condemn the game because it's making me click an object, but like it's really quite annoying when you'll try something and it won't work, and then you'll be like, oh well, I guess that's not right, but in reality it's because you didn't click a certain object onto it. And with the amount of objects that you do have, it can get pretty annoying when you're trying to do something and then it won't allow you to progress because you didn't click the right thing. Like if you try to give the money to someone, they're like, no. But then you try something like the keys and they're like, sure. And that is not something that I'm particularly a fan of. So with that said, let's go talk to Greta. Actually, hold on. Shit, no, stop. Oh well. Yeah, so she wants her camera back. She was just telling me that the wind is broken, I'll have to do it manually and all that. So now we can give her camera back by clicking on it. We couldn't do it before because we hadn't clicked the camera first. It's a minor thing, but still, it's a problem, I say. Like, why can't I just click on her, talk to her, and have like the character just give her the camera during that dialogue and just assume that I know that he knows what I wants to do. So if they can make it so that he just sort of realizes what I want to do without forcing me to click everything manually, that would be great. That sounds like I want the game to be psychic, but like obviously when I've got the camera, like obviously when I've completed the task and when I'm ready to go talk to Greta, that means I want him to give her the camera. I find it just like a waste of time to be forced to press the button on the inventory and then click it onto Greta. I know it's a minor thing, like I said, but it's just, I would like that to be fixed, because it's a minor thing. If it gets fixed, it's all the better, you know, simple as that. So here is also something that's pretty interesting. So we've got a bunch of little topics here that we can put together to try and make this new sort of a topic, I suppose. So this guy has an appointment and we need to get rid of him, so we can select appointment and heavy rain. So we can sort of put these together to make a new thought for the detective here. So Smiley's appointment and the heavy rain. Oh, well, he better hurry to his appointment because of the heavy rain. So we can do that, which is a choice, and so if we do that correctly, then we'll be rewarded with completing the objective, which is very nice. I like that. It's a very interesting sort of model. The only problem with that is that, at least right now in the early stages, it seems incredibly obvious what you need to pick. It's not like, oh, here's something like this, and then like here's another slightly different thing. So it's like you don't really have to like really think too hard about it. It's generally pretty easy. Hopefully they do make the difficulty in that a little bit harder later on as the game goes on, which they most likely will. I mean, this is like not that far into the game at all.
Let's
like,
see how this thing works.
geez, like maybe like, oh, I don't know, maybe 1 hour in, if that. Probably not even that. So yeah, I'm not that far into the game at all. So I'm sure they'll make that section a bit more complicated as well. And also, this game does have quite a bit of sort of mini games where the modern point-and-click adventure game doesn't really just have you do pointing and clicking anymore. They do, but they do it in more interesting sorts of ways. Like, we have to mess around with these knobs to get the correct radio station. We need to turn the thing on, and then we need to get the correct position. And it's like, these are new sorts of modern puzzles that are really fun to do. Like, they're more engaging than just pointing and clicking, and I really like this. So hats off to the developer for putting this into the game, because this is actually pretty good. So now we need to find the music little station. No. Is that music? Yes, it is. Alright, so, oh, by the way, this game is set in like 1945 or something like that. I forget the specific year, but basically it's the Great Depression.
In a better mood?
Sorry, Jack.
So, with that done, now that we've got the music on, it should make her in a better mood. We've got rid of Smiley, so everything's good. So now we can talk to her about stuff. So let me just give you an example of the voice acting.
Could I get something to drink?
Your account is overdue, Jack.
Sweetheart, I just want one glass.
Don't call me sweetheart, sugar, or any of those names. I hate them.
Maybe another time.
Until you pay, it's going to be that way.
Alright, so the voice acting isn't exactly the best in the world. So, if you can look past the voice acting, there is, like, a good story being told here, but unfortunately this game has the same problem that Mars Warlog has, where the story that they're trying to tell is being like trapped under this sort of not as good voice acting, which is just a real shame. Like, it's most likely not going to happen, but what would be nice if they did what Mars Warlog did, and that's completely redo the voice acting to give it much more emotion, much more emphasis and all that, and like it would just completely make the story a lot better, because you'd be more connected to the characters. Because if we look at the graphical quality of this game, it's really not that high, or at least for the characters' face models and stuff like that. A lot of the lip syncing and all that isn't really that great. Like, most of it is just them moving their mouth up and down with no real regard for the actual voices coming out of their mouth. So it's really off-putting like that. So the voice actors have a lot to try and like raise up to try and like get over that, so that you can feel connected to the characters. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 1 did that on the PS1, and they didn't even have lip syncing, so I'm sure, like, with good enough voice acting, you can get attached to these characters, and that's what they really needed to do. Unfortunately, the voices for this game just really aren't up to that standard, and it brings the overall quality of the game down. Something else that I'm not really a fan of is this shot, reverse, shot. It's just constantly shot, reverse, shot. And like there's really no interesting cinematography going on here, and a lot of the game is in this sort of like this is good. This is what you see, right? This is good. I like this, but for the most part, in the actual conversations, it's just shot reverse shot. These are sorts of what you get as a reward for completing a level, which are really rare. Well, not really rare, of course, because you get one for completing the level, but they're not very common. And so, for the most part, you get a lot of the shot reverse shot rather than a lot of these interesting sorts of noir sort of things. And also, I would just like to point out that after one glass of whiskey, he's already wasted. What a fucking weakling. So, that's something. So I do like those video sort of things because they do make the cinematography a lot more interesting. Like it's a lot more interesting to look at. But normally it's just sort of bleh, because it's like shot reverse shot. It's always the same static camera angle. So this game, if you can look past all of the flaws that this game has, if you can look past the low budget, the 4:3 resolution that's locked, if you can look past the sort of static camera angles, and there's a good story being told here that you could probably enjoy. But unfortunately, it is being held underneath by those budget restrictions. So it's like, this is a great story being told, but unfortunately just they shoot too high and they just were unfortunately not able to make it, which is a real shame. But if you can look past all of those budget restrictions and you can enjoy this game for just the story and not for the cinematography and not for the voice acting, then I can highly recommend this game because the story is actually pretty interesting. You know, well, I mean, if you're into like a noir sort of detective thing, which, you know, may not be the most original thing, but it is something. And if you like noir, if you're okay with low budgets, and if you're okay with sort of voice acting, then I can really recommend this game to you. If you can't really look past the voice acting or the shot reverse shot cinematography and the sort of okay puzzles and all of that, if you can't look past that, then I can't recommend this game to you. If you can, then sure, because this game is great if you can look past that. Now this really is just, can you look past this? If you can, yes. If you can't, no. That's it. So thank you for sticking around, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my first impressions of Face Noir. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more, and you can purchase this game in the link in the description below. GG.